Hello, welcome back to episode 6 of What If Civilization Started Over. The first event will be taking place over here in West Africa. This green team will be sending explorers up this river to claim all this land. They'll also send them down this river, to just follow along the rivers until they meet up with the blue team. And should they work together to start filling in most of this land, and eventually they discover all of it. West Africa will be expanding north, going up, not crossing the rivers. They want to leave some of the land for the blue team. Eventually, the expansion will stop as they also get to this river but don't cross it. They will look something like this. The rest of this land beyond around this river will go to the blue team, who does have some weird borders now. So I'm just gonna give them this. Next, we're going here to South Africa, where they will be invading this exclave of this brown team. They're very disconnected from the capital, so they can't really be defended that easily. They sweep through, they take all this, and they turn their attention to the south, and their troops start to move in. But that's when this other South African team threatens them. So South Africa agrees to give them the coastline of this brown team area. They let them invade this and remain neutral for the conflict, which the teal team accepts, so South Africa easily destroys the rest of the brown team. The division of the brown team will look like this. Next, both South African teams will continue exploring up north along the Botswanan Plateau. They go along the coastline, and they also keep on going up this way. The South Africans also follow this river a bit till a large portion of this land has all been explored and colonization can start as South Africa moves up past this river, also along this river, and they claim a lot of this territory. Same thing with this team over here, also expands past their border river along the coast. So it looks like this here in South Africa. Next, this green Madagascar team expanding up north, following along this river, and slowly taking control of the rest of the southern territory before they officially send people in to colonize all of it. And it's going very well for Madagascar as their influence is growing over the island, and a lot of the citizens of the blue team colony would rather be part of this green team as their government's actually in Madagascar, not focused over here. Something similar is also happening in the former green team, as the citizens don't really feel like the union is fair, and this will be amplified when the yellow team sends their troops up along this river, cutting their capital off from the rest of the country and invading down into here. They send cries for help, but Zanzibar doesn't really accept it. So the remainder of the blue team declares independence as the green team again, and they keep on being attacked by the yellow team. They push back around this river a bit, but the yellow team encircles this, destroying their army and capturing their capital surrounding this river until they surrender over to the yellow team. The peace treaty will look like this, with the yellow team annexing all the land east of this river here. The green team still has their capital, but it's disconnected. So they are going to send colonizers up this river, and just so they can connect their claims back up. They still have to send boats across this lake to officially connect back up to the capital, but it's close enough where the country still functions very well. Next, we're going back to the Maghreb country, as they're going to be doing another voyage, this time from Corsica. They will be going west, eventually they'll land in Catalonia, explore along the coast, and as they try to make their way back, they discover the Balearic Islands, covering all of this. Also Valencia down here, and they'll send their boats back, connecting up all this, and filling in all this land as they move in to claim it. They set up a colony along the coast of Catalonia and Valencia. It looks like this. Also along this little peninsula out here, and these two Balearic Islands. Although on the third Balearic Island, on Minorca, I'm pretty sure this is Minorca, they will be declaring independence, and the Maghreb country will actually respect their independence here, as they agreed to be a neutral country in all of their future affairs. And their capital is obviously going to be right here on the island. Next, back here in West Africa, a large migration will occur from this green team colony as a famine has hit them pretty hard. So they will all start traveling west along this coast in search of more fertile land. And they'll keep heading to this Guinea-Bissau area. Eventually, eventually they'll go along the Gambia River, but some will keep traveling north into the Sahel, and you go along, I think this is the Senegal River, and claim all of this. And over here, a new country will be set up, kind of like the Salmon Country over here along the river, and will mostly be comprised of farmers, but there are also a few people that were unsettled with living under the Green Team, so that's why they all moved out to here. Another group of dissatisfied farmers will also head north up this river along the Niger River, and they'll explore along this area in between these two rivers and eventually set up this blue team between the two rivers. They're very similar to the orange team, as they're also mostly farmers. The only difference is these people are mostly from this blue team down here. They're land west of this river, as this was also impacted by the famine. Finally, another wave of exploration will occur as they go along this river, eventually go north. They meet up with this orange team, and they use that to their advantage to just fill in a lot of this West African land. Liberia, Guinea, all of this eventually gets discovered, and these four countries, the blue team, the green team, the light blue team, and the orange team, will agree to split up the territory. The partition of this West African area will look something like this, with more land being colonized slowly, but it is still a very slow process for these countries as this land is heavily forested. Next, Egypt will continue exploring along the Nile River. They don't claim it though, as risk of another rebellion is very high, and they definitely cannot afford any casualties or instability right now, as they need to keep on focusing on their colonial claims up in Crete, where they will actually be launching another exploration from. The Egyptians discover the island of Rhodes, and they discover the South Turkish area. They set up a colony in Rhodes, and they're along Antalya, I think. I think it's around here. That makes Egypt the first tri-continental nation, as they own land in Africa, Europe, and Asia. Next, heading to Italy, a bunch of people from Maghreb team will be leaving this boot area of Italy, be exploring east down into Bari and Taranto, and two nations will end up being formed. First will be like this brick team. Second will be this green team over here. And they are kind of the first countries to officially have like borders. So I'm going to make this look a bit different. And you're not allowed to cross into brick team territory from the green team because they actually have guards here, unlike Maghreb and Egypt or the red team and the yellow team. Next, here in Arabia, there are people here that were kind of abandoned by the Gujarat team as they were migrating, and these people were told that Gujarat would come back for them, which never actually happened. So they will be setting up this country here on the coast, but basically impossible to survive here. So they will be will be sending basically their whole country just explore along the coast until they find more habitable land. They they travel along here up Qatar, where a lot of the people do stop, as Qatar isn't too habitable, but with the coast right here, they could be able to survive. They set up a country here, but some other people stay determined, and they keep heading north, eventually discovering Kuwait and the Tigris River. So they have just discovered Mesopotamia, and they decide to also set up a colony here. And they're currently all under the same turquoise team, but I will be changing that. These two Middle Eastern teams will look like this, with um, Mesopotamia actually being the real successor to the Omani team down here, and Qatar just being a country that's controlled by very few people. Finally, just some more expansion will occur around the world, so I will cut now, and the rest of all that expansion will look like this, with a lot of growth happening here in the Gujarat team, and also the Maghreb team expanding further south. Not into the Sahara fully yet, but they're getting very close to it.